Okay, Vilma says, do you think it's realistic to work in two completely different businesses at the same time? So, I think it's fine just because when I started, I was working, I was doing my day job, and I was doing my business, and I was going to business school. So that's to me like three separate things going on. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You may at some point need to make a choice. And also depends on your personality as well. Can you handle that? Is there one that's more of a priority than the others? Can you switch one off and switch the other on, right? So for me, I was able to handle that because I have focus. You would think I wouldn't be able to handle this because my number one strength on the Strengths Finder is focus. So you would think I wouldn't be able to handle like three different things going on at the same time. But focus is actually a positive when you have a lot of stuff going on, because I could like shut off one side of my I could shut off my day job when I went home, and when I went home I would like only focus on my business. And then I went to business school at night, and then I could shut off somehow, I still don't know how I did this, I could shut off my day job, I could shut off my blog and my business, and I could just focus on school. So you have to make sure that you can do that. You have to know yourself and your personality, and there were many times when I became a mom, like that's obviously my daughter isn't my business, but that's when things got really hard for me because I found it very, very tough to focus on her, feeding her, changing her, like all this stuff with her and running my business. So that's when I wasn't able to handle it. And that's when, I realized it and I knew I needed to, obviously I couldn't make a choice, but I needed help so that I could give more to my daughter and I could give more to my business. So there might get to a point where you just want to be aware that you might need to get some help. I know I had a virtual assistant that allowed me to move forward with my business when I was in school or when I was sleeping and stuff like that. So you might need to when you get to a point where you need help running the things so that they can both be growing. But I will tell you, it's hard. I mean, right now I have 2 different membership sites, and it's something that I struggle with because I am trying to grow 2 businesses in a way, and I consider Classy Career Goal even as a different business. Like I'm running Classy Career Goal, which is separate from Love Your Career Formula membership site, which is separate from Corporate Rescue Plan membership site. So here I am again, running three completely different businesses. They're all generating income different ways. They all require different marketing. They all require different input from me. They all require different staff levels. They all require, they're all very different businesses. And it's difficult. So you just have to know what you can handle yourself. There are times when I've had to I've never shut one down, but I've definitely shifted my focus. Like last September, I automated Love Your Career Formula membership site and I switched my focus completely to Corporate Rescue Plan. And there are times where I've shifted my focus, not too much because I love you guys and I love Corporate Rescue Plan and I love all of our membership sites, but there are times when I've shifted my focus to really focus on growing Classy Career Girl and growing page views and growing our brand and our social media accounts, and growing that it can sometimes force me to shift my focus from my business. But it's important to know where you're generating the revenue as well. So I can't stop everything in my membership sites and completely focus on growing Classy Career Girl, because Classy Career Girl is like the overarching brand that it's kind of like funnels everything into our membership sites, but the membership sites are where we're generating revenue and our income and on a monthly basis. So you have to be very aware of that too. So looking at your businesses, looking at what are those revenue generating activities you can be doing in both the businesses, what can you start delegating, because you can't do everything. I don't give as much to Love Your Career Formula as I do to you guys in CRP, because this is what I love doing. So you have to know where can you give more, where can you start delegating, and kind of see that balance too. So maybe stepping out of one business in a certain area and seeing how that works, seeing does the business still grow? I realized when I stepped out of Love Your Career Formula that our retention actually increased because I was overwhelming them with like too much information. So maybe that's, Vilma, for you, maybe there's a place where you actually stepping out or delegating something to someone else actually grows the business, which is kind of crazy because we think we need to be so involved and they need us to run things. But maybe there's, better ways that things can be done, like delegating some things to interns or to assistants. It's basically replacing yourself, right? Like teaching everything you know to someone else and then watching them run with it and make it way better than you even could. And then you have like a few different people who are just doing what you used to do, except even better. Like that's what really grows your business, and that's what's really exciting. So always just being really, really aware of what you're doing. Do you need to be doing it? Can you delegate that to someone else? But I see no reason why you can't be growing, two different businesses at the same time. But just be careful of your focus. Read The One Thing as well, because that will help you too. And Essentialism. Those are my two favorite books.